Greetings, everyone. I hope the current consciousness shift that we're all partaking in is treating you well. Well, maybe not all of us are partaking, but for those of us that are experiencing the shift in consciousness that's been happening on the planet, I want to look at a few things here. We have National Treasure 2004 movie with Tom Hanks. And this photo's been going around saying that this is reality residue of the Mona Lisa who's not smiling. I've been looking at this here. This is supposed to be the original here. I know there's so many remakes, it's hard to find the original online, but to me this looks like the original. And it does look like she's smiling a little more than she is over here, but that could be lighting, that could be the size of the image here. I tried to get this as large as I could. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, it does. I see the smirk a little bit. I mean, I really see it here. Those of you who don't know, Mona Lisa, my whole life, I remember her having just a plain, a plain face. Her lips were straight across. There was no smile. I couldn't tell how people could think she could be possibly smiling. She just had a plain Jane look. There was no smile. Now I see a very obvious smirk, kind of like she's smirking. Even the eyes seem different than I remember my whole life. But this kind of looks like, this is kind of hard because this kind of looks like how I remember it. So, I don't know. I think it's interesting that Tom Hanks is here with the Mona Lisa, maybe where she's not smiling, but where she is now. So I don't know. The crazy thing with the Mandela Effect is we're seeing this reality residue. So some of us are able to see multiple realities, and we're seeing, well, everyone can see these two images. Whether you're experiencing the Mandela Effect or not, you can see them. But what I take from this and what you might take from this, and others will say, no, that's just a trick. Your mind's playing tricks. Or, that's why we show this reality residue. It's not just for us. It's for everyone to show, look, there's something happening. You can't, why is, I didn't show this, but Jiffy, why did Smuckers take out a trademark on Jiffy like in 1928 and didn't end up using it? But they had it, and it was not popcorn. It was Smuckers and I think Procter and Gamble. They both had a trademark on Jiffy. I mean, that's kind of odd that they had that, and then, that's what we remember the peanut butter being, but it was never that in this reality. So, moving along here, I just wanted to point this out. I also wanted to look at Forrest Gump, Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. A lot of you might know this, but, the original, this is a real big one
here. When we
here.
went on vacation, she stuck to the sidelines, but she left loving the spotlight. And we chose an Airbnb so everyone had their own room. But we ended up closer than ever. We may have booked a
Okay, we happened to get a 15-second long commercial here. All right, so.
Could eat about 1.5 million of these. My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
Okay, so we all know now in this reality, my mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. Some of you may not know, but there is footage of him saying, that's right here. There's backstage, a making of the movie type thing, where they're backstage.
And I fell in love with it. I read the first line. And the first line of the book is, being an idiot ain't no box of chocolates.
My mom always said that life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
See, those are different camera angles. They recorded it with him saying life is like a box of chocolates. This is from a behind-the-scenes episode or show, interview about the movie. So he said it that way, but they didn't use that clip in this reality, but they used it in the other one. So it's here. The evidence, there's no question about whether the Mandela Effect is real or not. So I just wanted to point this out. Tom Hanks, Sally Fields. Sally Fields is also in this Forrest Gump movie, and then her name is changed, and that famous 84 quote from the Oscar acceptance, "You like me, really like me," is now "you like me, right now you like me." It's different. Tom Hanks, Sally Fields, both involved in numerous Mandela effects. I wanted to point out, talking about National Treasure, the Templars. You know, I have Freemasons in my family that have studied the Templars, and with discussions with them have told me that the Templars, they cross the arms of the dead. And that's where the symbol of the skull and crossbones comes from. They cross the arms in the burial. Well, not in this reality. I don't see any crossed arms. There's a skull and crossbones on the tomb there. They cross the legs. Anyone who knows about the Templars, I mean, does that look odd to you, seeing the legs crossed and not the arms? I always learned that the arms were crossed, not the legs. They crossed the arms. So this is really odd. I've never talked about this before. I want to move along to something that I've been looking at a lot. Again, I was researching the Mayan calendar back in 2011. Calleman did a lot of research, 20 years on the Mayan calendar. I want you to listen to a little bit here. He talks about unity consciousness coming in the 9th wave. As we go through these waves, you know, the Mayan calendar was about human consciousness. And it wasn't about just a calendar for, you know, next year and cycles of time. I mean, it's about consciousness. It's not really about time. It's about waves of consciousness and energy. So, you know, the nine gods of the 9 waves are going to descend. Well, it's not 9 gods like Roman and Greek, you know, people gods. This is energy gods. A god being like an energy, a force. They're descending and they're coming through us. And, you know, the 9th wave has hit. And I think the Mandela Effect is connected to this. The blood moons, what's coming in September 23rd. Everything is connected, everybody. This is an incredible time. Those who can't see it, I'm sorry. Just keep your comments to yourself. I know you won't, but I don't know. Look, you need to do more research. I don't know if you can't see it, if you're not participating. Now, talking about those people, you know, that leave the comments are angry and mean, mad, because they're not experiencing this, and they're just like, there's nothing going on. There's no Mandela Effect. You just can't remember things. Listen to this right here. I think he's talking about these people. Let's check this out right here.
When we study the Mayan calendar, we can see that for the past 5,000 years, there's been a dualist thinking among humanity. The Hopi talk about this dualist thinking as the two-hearted people.
Mm-hmm.
So they
you
also
have actually quite a good quote on dualist that I want to quote here. You say, people with a dualist and separating consciousness are like cancer cells in the body of the earth.
Yes, and the reason is that with a dualist consciousness, and I'm not saying that it's like them and us who are not like that. We all, I believe, share a little bit of both ways, so to speak. I don't think anybody today can say that they're completely above that kind of thing. Nonetheless,
we're all experiencing dualistic and unity consciousness, but some of us have moved more towards the unity consciousness. You know, the S being dropped off so much stuff, and you know, going from Sally Fields, always been Field, S is gone. I mean, the S's in all these songs that keep talking about, the S's are falling off. Dream On by Aerosmith, he says Tear. Well, Tears, it was, you know, so many people remember Tears. Well, it's always been Tear. So we're going to this, I don't fully understand it myself, but there's a connection with all the S's that are disappearing and with the unity consciousness I think Calleman was talking about. You know, listening to him was what made me know there was something coming, him and others. But with 2012, I knew something was coming. I was talking about it in 2011 on YouTube, coming consciousness shift in humanity. Everything was pointing towards it. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let me get back to this.
There are degrees and differences among people. And if you have a dualist thinking, you are operating pretty much like it's all about you, because you experience yourself so much as a separate individual, as somebody whose interests are separate from the rest of creation. And once that kind of a mentality is in the